Look, now is the time where we set the scene with an overview of the plan that really did inform this conference. So Anna Rathe leads the Aotearoa Horticulture Action Plan. Now, with experience across government, academia and industry, she aligns efforts and investments to support our sector. So Anna's going to update us on progress and also how today's sessions connect back to the plan. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Aotearoa Horticulture Action Plan, please put your hands together for Anna Rathe.
Kia ora, good morning. We've heard this morning that there is going to be growth in the horticulture sector. So that's growth in terms of both the collective farm gate value and in terms of export value. But what if we wanted to aim higher? What if we wanted to steepen that growth curve? What would it take for us to bring the sector up to doubling the value of our industry in the coming decade? That's where the Aotearoa Horticulture Action Plan comes in. The goal of this plan is to steepen that curve and to increase the value of our sector. So the AHAP, I'm just going to call it the AHAP, we love an acronym. It's a team effort, right? It was developed collectively with input from Māori, from industry, from government and from science. And together we agreed on this overarching goal. So doubling the farm gate value of horticultural production in a way that improves prosperity for our people and protects our environment. That's our big shared aspirational goal. Now, because it was developed collectively, it also needs to be delivered collectively. And that's where we're at right now. We've started delivery, we're about to power up, and it requires collaboration from all partners. And just to kind of get a sense of the scale of the collaboration, over the past year, our little team has spoken to and engaged with over 500 people from across those partners. So there's been a lot of talking, also some doing. I'll tell you about that too. Now, I know you'll all know the plan off by heart, but if you don't, I'll just mention that it's organised according to 5 key pillars, and this just demonstrates the spread of the activities we're looking to do. So we've got the grow sustainably pillar. We want to optimise value. We want Māori to be strong in horticulture. We need a horticulture sector that's underpinned by science and knowledge. And of course, we need to nurture our people. So the plan is organised across those 5 pillars. There's lots of crossover, but it's very broad. It's important to note that the plan has a 10-year lifespan. So we're now in 2025. The plan is in place right through to 2035, so the next decade. And what that means is that we are chunking it down into manageable pieces over the lifespan of the plan. So how does this impact you? As you heard from Minister Greg this morning, everyone in this room has a role to play. You all own this plan. If you're involved in the New Zealand horticulture sector, this belongs to you. So you're owners, you're already contributors. I'm sure whatever you are doing in your business and your organisation is already contributing to the plan, and we want to turbocharge that. Now, because you own this plan, I would also love for you to be an advocate for the plan and talk to your networks about it. And really importantly, you're also all beneficiaries. This is for you. No matter which part of the partnership you sit within, it's likely to achieve your aims. So for example, it supports horticulture businesses to grow. It is aligned with the government's goal of doubling export values. It's there to support Māori in horticulture. And it's really going to drive the need for an ongoing research pipeline for our science community. So no matter what your aims are, the likelihood is if you get stuck in and help with the AHAP, it'll deliver for your organisation, your aims, as well as the wider sector. We've recently stood up a governance group, which is a very exciting new step. So this is the collection of wonderful individuals who are going to be overseeing the next phase of delivery. We've got Andrew Gibbs, he's our independent chair, Vanessa Winning, she's with MPI, Nadine Tunley from Scales Corporation, Bernadine Galoo, who's HortNZ chair, Carol Ward, an independent who's really heavily involved in the kiwifruit sector, and Richard Newcomb from the Bioeconomy Science Institute. So they are all out in the crowd today. Make sure you find them and have a discussion about the AHAP. We also have a little tiny program team who work really hard to drive this initiative forward. So in the room today, we've got Sol from MPI, give us a wave, Stuart and Miriam from the Bioeconomy Science Institute, Leanne from HortNZ, and Paula from United Fresh. So a small but mighty team progressing this forward. So where are we? What have we done? We've got this roadmap. You don't need to look at the top bit. All you need to see is that we have moved forward over the years since this was released. We've spent the last year or two really doing our homework. So we've been doing a lot of analysis. We've been making sure that we're not going to get stuck in with initiatives that duplicate what's already been done or is being done. And we've also delivered some early win projects. So some of the low-hanging fruit, excuse the pun, that we could get stuck in and deliver on behalf of the sector. But now we're here. Where this orange arrow is, we are ready to scale up. So the program team has done what they can to progress this, but now we're at the stage where we are multiplying it out to other parties and other individuals to really speed up progress on the plan. It's an exciting time. How are we doing this? How are we making progress? We've taken a multi-pronged approach. The AHAP is much too big for any one entity to do it on their own, and that was never the intention. So we've taken a range of approaches. We've done a stock take. We continue to keep that stock take up to date. That's what excellent initiatives people are already doing to avoid duplication, and we've hit over 600 initiatives captured on that stock take. There's a lot of good stuff happening already that aligns with the plan. The second approach we've taken is delivery of project work. So you don't need to see the images here. This is just to indicate to you that we've delivered in the last year 9 projects under the AHAP. These are initiatives that will benefit the industry. And if you want to learn more, pick up a copy of this little booklet. This is our progress update for 2025, and this outlines all of the projects that have been completed. So you can take a look at what we've achieved. Just some examples of what we've delivered in that project space. We've done a piece of work on making nutrition claims for fresh produce in conjunction with Zespri and Plant and Food Research. We've done a piece of work with the passion fruit sector, looking at opportunities for that collective of growers. We have made use of our wonderful friends, the growers in the Horticulture, and we've taken 2 busloads of government officials up to hear directly from growers about what is impacting them day to day. And that's been a wonderful opportunity for officials to hear it direct from growers. And there's a bunch more that's been delivered, completed, but you can take a look at that in the document. But now here we are. Today, Minister Grigg released the implementation roadmap. Now, I know you'll think, oh, it's just another piece of paper. This one is different. So this is a significant milestone for the program. This is what we're going to deliver in the next 3 years. So if I just delve into it a little bit, there's a copy on all of the tables, and you'll be able to get yourself a copy later in the conference. But the roadmap sets out priority actions for the next 3 years, so it's time-bound. It's not a airy theory out in the future thing. It's time-bound, 3 years. And really importantly, the implementation roadmap identifies a lead entity for each action. So there's an element of accountability there, and we'll be checking in over the next 3 years to see how progress is going. So we've got a time-bound, entity-led set of actions that will be delivered. So this is how we're scaling up. This is how we're making the most of the network to move the dial. Now, if you're flicking through that implementation roadmap and your favourite topic isn't in there, don't panic. This is the first of numerous implementation roadmaps. So we're in 2025. We've spent the previous few years doing our early wins, doing our homework, and in future years, we'll be releasing the next roadmaps and getting the next cabs off the rank to progress. So we needed a way to break this down into bite-sized chunks. Otherwise, it's too overwhelming and we don't make progress. So you can keep an eye out for your favourite topics and implementation roadmaps to come. Now, we also know that we need to up our focus in a number of areas. We're hearing this from the 500 people we have been out and spoken with. So we know it's time to scale up delivery. We've heard that loud and clear. We have a plan that's time-bound, and we are ready to go with that scaling up implementation delivery phase. We know that we need to make it real for growers. This is a plan for growers. This is a plan for the sector. We really need industry heavily involved and shaping every action that we complete under the plan. And we know that we need to increase connections with Māori and horticulture. We have started this, we are ramping it up, and that's going to be an area of focus moving forward. So everyone in this room, if you're involved with New Zealand horticulture, has a role to play. I know we've got a few Australians also. You can play a role in support. You can buy New Zealand produce in your local supermarkets. That would be great. But everyone can recognise that the goal we're trying to achieve is a sensible one. It's a great aspiration. So if you align whatever you're doing in your daily work with the AHAP, that's a great starting point. I also encourage you to come together with others. We've talked about the strength of collaboration. Kate Scott said this morning, collaboration's not really optional anymore, it's essential. So we want people to come together behind a good idea and get it done. Now, I've got a few examples of how you can get involved in the AHAP. These are just examples. I haven't covered every base. But if, for example, you're a grower, you can contribute your expertise, your knowledge, your time, your resources, any or all of the above, to AHAP projects that are going to benefit your business. That could, for example, be, I don't know, a water storage proposal in your area. Get on board, make it happen, get the right people in the room. If you're a government official, and I know we've got a fair few of those in the room, you've got a really important role to play. So we ask that you test your policy proposals, your policy advice against the AHAP. Does what you're proposing enable the horticulture sector? Does it hinder the horticulture sector? It's a really useful tool to do that sense check. If you're a researcher, we've got some wonderful parts of our science community in the room today. I encourage you to think about when you're setting up a new experiment, a new project, can it be extended? Can it apply to multiple crops or multiple regions? Is there a way that you can do the same piece of work, tweak it a little bit, and benefit more of the sector? If you're an industry body, lead a piece of work that delivers for your members, but also delivers for the wider sector. So if, for example, you wanted to do a piece of work on succession planning, that's something that affects the whole sector. So start on that piece of work with the intention of sharing it so many can benefit and we're not duplicating effort. So again, these are just some examples. I know there'll be stakeholders in this room that don't fit into these little bubbles, but there's something for everyone, don't you worry. And more detail about how you can get involved in these documents. So what I want you to take away from this morning is that we've made good progress. It might not always feel like it, but hopefully you've felt from this update that we have achieved tangible outcomes and we've got a plan about how to ramp up. We're ready to get on with implementation. We've set the scene, we've got commitment from various parties, we're ready to go. And we need your ongoing support. This is for you. We need you to be involved to make sure that the outcomes are what you need, not what someone thinks you need. So in terms of keeping up to date, I encourage you to pick up a copy of the plan itself if you haven't memorised it, as I expect you all have. A copy of the implementation roadmap, that's the cauliflower one, that's brand new, released today by Minister Greg, so it's very exciting. And the progress update, so we release these once a year and you'll be able to see all of what's been achieved since August 2024. You can find these at various stands in the exhibitor area. So go and see A Lighter Touch, go and see On-Farm Support, go and see the Bioeconomy Science Institute, grab yourself a copy. Also available online, of course, because this is the modern day. So as you are sitting in this room over the next 2 days, I encourage you to think about how what you're hearing connects to the AHAP. The talks that are scheduled align with all 5 pillars of the AHAP, and you'll be able to see those linkages coming through. I also encourage you to find either someone in the program team, myself, or one of the governance group members over the next 2 days. Tell them your ideas. Tell them who you need to collaborate to get it done. Come and talk to us. Make sure you're informed about the AHAP and get on board, because we're all in it together and we need everyone to play their part. Thank you very much.